Namaste and good morning to all of you. In fact, I am very grateful for the space that is given to me to share my whole project on women's sacred space. What is the space that women have today in the sacred sphere? Before I move on to my area of concern, I would like to brief a summary of what laid the foundation for this topic on female body and space. I had been involved in the lives and issues of women for the past 20 years. Ever since the feminist consciousness has engaged me, I am aware of the various ways the body becomes the site of women's oppression in India. Women's body has been used as an object of gratification, sex, reproduction, cheap labor, trade, violence, conflicts, etc. Attracting as it is, all of us know that female body is very attractive. Still, it is being perceived as unclean, impure, a cause of shame, a cause of destruction and distraction. In a nutshell, the patriarchal society in India has been strategically spacing woman's body within a boundary for its own vested interests. Moreover, during my doctoral research, I in fact began to understand the politics of space in the lives of women. Especially during my doctoral research, I realized how space played an important role in the lives of women. Especially the expansion of physical space helped women to articulate better, to assert themselves better. But in a way, in an Indian society, women are confined within certain boundaries. So, as a result of this, during these research and working with women, I began to realize the importance of space for a human being. Where you are matters a lot when you want to communicate something. Space and power are interlinked. Space is power. Yes. In order to empower women in India, what women need is a change of space. A shift from the private space to the public space. What do I mean by when I say private space? It is a domestic space where women are supposed to be. If they move from this space to another space and if something happens, they will be blamed. They will be told that you are supposed to be there and why did you come here? This is what they would do. And so this is what they have also co-opted within themselves, this type of understanding of space. So what happens is women think that they are safe and they are secure within this domestic space, and when the moment they cross this, they are in danger. Now, when I think of this and when I look at women in India, I personally feel that they need to have a paradigm shift from the private space to public space. And that's why, and whether it is in the area of politics or media or religion or any other field for this matter, I would say a change of space matters a lot for women in India. And that's why I chose this topic. And therefore, I personally believe that this would bring about empowerment in the lives of women. And that's why I chose this whole project on women in the sacred space. Now, what do I mean by space? Space is that which allows a person to move, contrive, and negotiate one's identity. The body is a complex and hierarchical space which is invested with power within by the subject who occupies it and outside by others who control it. However, body space is not measured in length or breadth or depth. Rather, it is the ideal extension in which a person experiences that his or her integrity is recognized, respected, and accepted by others. Although body space begins with the extension of oneself in a physical location, it does not limit itself to merely physical extension of a person. Now, when I come to the understanding of sacred space, it differs from person to person today. For someone, a library may be a sacred space. For another person, garden may be a sacred space. Even someone else may say the bar may be a sacred space. I am not going into, you understand, I am not going into research in this line, what women would consider something as their sacred space. No. My concern goes with the traditional understanding. The sacred, I define sacred as dedicated or set apart for worship, made or declared holy, dedicated or devoted exclusively for a single purpose. Okay, so a place or space becomes sacred by rituals or ceremonies which are repeatedly performed in it. Now, from here I move on to Catholic women's access to sacred space, because as I told you, though my area of research, my research on women in sacred space, I am not going to limit myself only to Christianity. But during my stay here, I would be focusing my attention on to Catholic women's space. And that's how I want to speak to you, brief to you the report which I had during my field work. I met 200 Catholic women belonging to 50 parishes. And this is what they say. Having deeply affected by socio-spatial constructs, Catholic women in India have historically been denied the opportunity to exercise a direct role in determining or controlling religious or sacred space. Furthermore, they have been particularly vulnerable to changes or reforms in the articulation of space. With regard to segregation in seating arrangement, if you go to the churches, you will see men and women are made to sit separately, except few places. Few churches you find them sitting together, mostly Western influenced parishes. But majority of the parishes, even today, you see women and men sitting separately. They are segregated. And women at the altar, although among those whom I interviewed, 64% of them are regular goers to church, only 12% said that they have gone to the altar for something or other. 32 said they have never gone, rarely gone, while 56% of them said they have never gone near the altar at all to do anything. And their involvement is mostly to do with attending mass, by giving alms, rather than by being part of a parish council or finance council. I want to talk to you about during funeral ceremonies. Women do not go to cemetery, even if it happens to be their own children or husbands. They go away from the church, and some do not even go to the church. For instance, among those whom I interviewed, 94% of them said that they had not gone to the cemetery when someone dies. Only 6% of them said that they had gone to the cemetery. Now I want to talk about the women saints in our churches, Catholic churches. If you go to India, you will find plenty of saints in our churches. And when I interviewed, the minimum number of saints that they are found in the church was 8, and the maximum went up to 16. And I asked them how many women saints in their churches. They said, except Mother Mary, there was only one saint, woman saint, and that too in the 6 churches. And who was that woman saint? Saint Teresa of Little Jesus, or Little Flower they call her. Imagine, our church never thinks of this. We never think of this. Why women saints have not come into our churches? Why they are not there? So, coming to the whole understanding of freedom of expression, 80% of them said that they have no space. It means that they have no voice. They have to hear and follow what is being said and read. And only 18% of them said that they get involved in church activities. The priests and men will ask, they said that the priests and men will ask the suggestions as if they are going to listen to us. But they do what they want. And when we come to the allotment of work in the churches, sometimes, when it is to do cleaning or cleaning the campus or arranging the flower vases, they will be invited to do. Whereas with regard to all the other activities, it's the men who take control of. Dear friends, the findings from the field disclose that Catholic women have very limited space in the sacred arena.